compared to an infectious bite of a mosquito. And when I hear a siren, I want to go and help, but I understand that doing that would only get in the way of the ambulance trying to get there quicker than me on foot. So by helping, I would be doing... I can only help them by not helping them. This is what is called doing all the wrong things for the right reason. Doing all the right things for the wrong reason, and you didn't know until it was too late. One thing that could occur from this happening are bad omens. The premonition of cleansing would be used negatively in a negative connotation. The cleansing would be a bad omen. You doing all the right things for the wrong. Most people don't know how to fight. Unless you're born with like wolves and stuff, like there's the story of the one boy who like grew up with wolves. Unless you're doing that, humans don't know, they're not fighters naturally. So when red flags pop up, the instinct is to go with your gut instinct, and that's a really easy way to do all the right things for the wrong reasons if it comes down to just breeding. Because some people believe that there's too many people and that's not why we're here, but for all animals, that's their all intentional purpose, is to not go extinct. That is your purpose if you're a human, not to go extinct, but it could be for all the wrong reasons. I'm trying not to be corny, but this health crisis where this is that our existence is in jeopardy because of a contaminant that has been ran rampant. And since there's such things as opposites, we need to take that into consideration. This right here is a great representation of life being regenerated. Look at the prevalence, and especially this sap is a great unit of multi-dispersals. Over here, we've got 3. And not to be silly, but someone has to address the elephant in the room. Just things that go without saying are being taken as not being said, and they're being used against you. Something so simple as breathing air, you don't have to think to do it. When you have a brain injury and you fall asleep, your brain forgets to breathe, and then you are no longer going to awake. Each time you put on a mask and do this every day for a year, you're reminding yourself that it's not safe to breathe air. Something as simple as this is stapled in, and then you just have to question the body, the body, the body. Have you ever wondered how long the Indians were here before the Pilgrims came? They had a diet that was so good that they were able to eat what we call junk food. Well, they would call just pure maple sugar for extended periods of time where it was suitable to them without any malnutrition. What we view as that would be equal to be eating cotton candy for 3 weeks. We would keel over and die. This is what the Pilgrims saw when they first saw, because I'm part Indian. Early America, there was the Indians, and they had maple sugaring techniques down to a T. They had connoisseurship where they would put inside of baskets as they travel this corn that they dried, and then they would powder it, adding in clumps of sugar, make it then into a milk because they lacked the milk. So they would achieve that by wetting this powder as they traveled, like porridge, and they ate that, and it was really nourishing because they found just the right amounts of how to keep that substance. Because they were connoisseurs, they had woven their baskets that they kept the meal mix in, and the meal mix as they traveled would be shaken up based off the wetting of the powder they kept the crystals of the sugar from dissolving because of their system was well acclimated, because they were seen as very healthy. And they say like just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. They would eat like 1 pound. Sometimes they would just eat the maple sugar raw, live off that at times, and be just fine. And so it's even more of a travesty that they got blindsided when they were given blankets that had sickness on them. Because one dirty trick that Americans played on the Indians were they got a whole bunch of sick people and they gave them blankets, and so they put the sickness onto the blankets, and then they gave those sick blankets to the Indians, and the Indians got very sick. The only difference from falling would be what keeps it from not completely falling. You need a bond in order to achieve a stable structure. The bond or a bondage. Superstitions come in wide variety, and it all comes down to instinctual premonitions. To follow your gut, or if you have an eerie suspicion. This is somewhat conspiratorial because it entails what would be a sixth sense. We were taught early that these things are archetypes of culture. As a kid, you might be told to hold your breath as you pass a graveyard, or to punch someone in the shoulder if you pass a VW June bug. One other thing is the bridge. If you're in a vehicle while passing a bridge, you're told to hit the top of the car with your fist. So when the Indians got infected by the blankets, what do you think that did to their nourishment that they had built up for ages, and they were able to have these blankets come in and blindside them? How did that throw off the whole chain? The blockchain would be the supply chain was altered. Their product was the gruel, the mush. I imagine that put them in a full tilt because it wasn't good enough to overcompensate the dirty, sickly blankets. I imagine what happened was that they had built up this energy that was so great, of great nutrition. It was so, the mitochondria is what's in charge of the powerhouse in your cells. A helpful tip from a friendly Indian: consuming zinc coats your cells and make them bulletproof from things entering it, if you choose to. But this is better represented by the gnats that are pluming. They come in, they attack you, probably to lay eggs in your scalp, being it the most favorable place to hide things. You can combat them by pretending your arms are zinc, by flailing them up and down continuously. You are making your airwaves and your solid arm a bulletproof barrier that keeps the smaller, putrid, dinky gnats away from your center core. And before you make cookies, before you even have the ingredients for them, you gotta know that before you have the ingredients, you'll probably end up getting burned by not having anything while trying to do the exact thing. And I know the converse where it becomes political is that you want to be a model citizen. In the Bible, they're called the Good Samaritan. The Indians were awfully friendly, maybe too friendly, of the the white people, and this caused them to receive the blanket without question. They took all these blankets as a good gesture, and the blankets were what broke up their ancient diet, caused them to go downwards in a blink of the eye. I know superstition can be a darnest thing. When it comes down to politics, has the freelance, where if you're a really good politician, you wouldn't have to be scared of the superstition. That even rhymes. You would just know that I need to see how many trees have black fungus in the how serious of a politician are you? The Midwest, and then I need to make sure I get every bee checked whenever someone sees a bee, and record it, and that will be able to get you understanding of the quality of honey, so you never get a bad batch. Similarly, you would know with the mosquitoes, you would take some serious measure to understand every single possible trace of blood, and you would see how infectious that is, and treat it just like every tree you would be tracking. You would do that with every body that would have a potential for the bad mosquito compared to the bad bee, and you would take both groups and see which is more dangerous to spread awareness. And that's a hell of a task, but that's only if you were to say that superstition is not a thing, and that would be how you would be able to prove it, by being a better politician. And that's a hell of a task, but that's only if you were to say that superstition is not a thing, and that would be how you would be able to prove it, by being a better politician.